Hello, I'm checking out Lightyear Frontier, and the idea of combining mech suits with farming has me very excited. And you already know it's going to be good when you have the ability to set your graphic settings to frame breaking, and it looks like we'll begin like no other, just by waking up. Find your mech suit, mission started. And it looks like I found the mech suit. Fix her up real quick. And now the game really begins. Because we've finally got the mech suit. Look out world, there's officially a new mech in town. Oh god. Well, that could have gone better. And we can use this mech suit to help us get basic resources. Like trees, rocks, and other things. And by the looks of it, we're not the only ones here. Did anyone survive? Any survivors? Well, in that case, finders keepers. Well, this looks like a pretty good place to set up camp. And I totally know how to do that. And here we go. We've now officially set up the farm centre. A flagpole to indicate the centre of your farm to set up a safe perimeter. And the next thing to build is the delivery cannon, which we use to deliver resources to nearby planets. And after we've made any deliveries, we unlock milestones, which will give us the ability to craft new things like resource refinement, more technology, trailers, or solar energy. So why wait, we may as well give deliveries now. So I've made a little farm, gonna plant some wheat, drown them with water. So while we wait for them to grow, we may as well go to sleep. Finally, all done. In fact, why am I using my hands? Come on, mech suit. There we go. And now that wheat's grown, we can take it and send this wheat off to another planet. Safe travels. And by delivering that, we unlock new things which we can craft. Like this, the mech depot. Requires plant oil, stone, and copper ore. But before we do that, we need to unlock the 3 basic crafting machines. With these 3 elements combined, we have the ability to make anything. Well, kind of. They're pretty much just the equivalent of making a crafting table in Minecraft. Except there's 3 of them, which gives me more work to do. But the thing we care about most right now is the seed extractor. Because we can use normal wheat to make wheat seeds, which we can then use to farm. Because unfortunately for us, the more wheat we give this cannon, the more it wants. Which means this farm isn't going to be anywhere near big enough. But I see no reason why we can't use all of this space we've already got. So like normal humans, we're going to be taking advantage of this planet as much as possible. Well, this environment was fun while it lasted, but the trick to it is to never leave a trace. And even though I've already laid out the land, we've still got the problem of actually planting all the seeds. So using all the resources we got from this area, I decided to invent this. The seed collector, which I'm going to call the Seed Collector 3000. I'll explain how it works. And it is pretty simple. You come up to one of these seed extractors, you give it whatever material it needs, and then you can just walk away and it'll make it while you're gone. Although each thing it makes does take over a minute to make, so in order to make up for the lack of time, I decided to make 10 of them. And after the seed extractors have made the seeds, they then get shot out, filtered through the staircase, where they then land perfectly into these chests, which I'm hoping this is going to be enough to be able to cover the entire bit of land. We're not going to talk about these ones which I've missed. Although maybe it's just as simple as just adding these things in the corners. Just like so. Right, there we go. Problem solved. Really? But that just gives us a chance to shamefully pick them up off of the floor, knowing we failed. Provided that all the machines are in use, the seed collector can make about 30 seeds every minute. Although I need thousands. Well anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. Yeah, we're gonna be here a while. Although with the help of the mech, this should be done in no time. Although for the sake of my own sanity, we're gonna say this took about 5 minutes. And in that same 5 minutes, I also decided to reinvent the seed collector. Because the ratio of seeds which we actually needed versus what we were making was an absolute joke. So to fix that problem, I had to add a few more seed extractors. I mean, it's not exactly perfect, but it does do the job. Kind of. I also decided to make a little room at the bottom to make collecting them a lot easier, but no one cares about that. Because the point is now we can make our next delivery. Oh, it turns out we don't even need wheat. Oh yeah, we do. As well as something which we've not discovered yet. Also, did you know that tornadoes were a thing in this game? Because I didn't. I ended up getting blown away and had to go on a side quest to find all my stuff. Which wasn't exactly easy. Okay, I've figured it out now. The reason why we can't deliver wheat is because we need to make even more deliveries in order to get the next milestone, which will then allow us to discover whatever this thing is. Although sadly this windmill takes about 1 minute to make each item. So because of that, we're just going to do what we did last time. And what I mean by that is I'm going to make so many I don't have to worry about the crafting time. But for now I only actually need one. Because first I need to make sand, which we can now use to assemble some clay, which we then use to craft a furnace, followed by smelting bronze, which I can then use to make a bronze frame. I don't know if you remember, but that was the item which we had not yet discovered from earlier. Which, long story short, we can now start delivering this wheat once again. But regardless of how many deliveries I can actually achieve, there's only one item I care about unlocking, which is this. Throwing Strength level 1. Which now means we can collect the materials, build it, and put it on the mech. Which now means if we collect some rocks, we can throw them, and a lot further. So, you know what that calls for? Jump shot. Way! Slam dunk! And what? That's how it's done. What was that? You thought he was finished? Slam dunk! Wait, what? Wait, what? I died? I mean, who knew you could die from a slam dunk? Well, anyway, feel free to subscribe if you make your standards.